Everything better. Everything better. Everything better, guys. Everything working. Sorry about that, guys, man. Lots of issues. All right, back to it. Good W's in the chat. That's good. That's good energy. So what I was saying was, with scale, you get local, regional, national, and global. And with local, regional, national, and global, guys, you're able to look at the relationship between at different scales. So if you're in an exam and you look at, this happens on a local scale. If we're looking at gentrification, for example, at the local scale, gentrification is going to displace residents. Have you any of you guys familiar with the Stratford case study, for example? Put one in the chat if you're familiar with the Stratford case study. Perfect. Perfect, Yaman. Perfect. So with the Stratford case study, what they did was they displaced residents. And when they went about displacing residents, they displaced them with gentrification on a local scale because they brought in all that high-end housing, all the high-end buildings. And as a result, what did that lead to? It led to all these people being displaced. And at a national scale, you could argue that it raises the urban productivity. This is why everything has two sides to it, right? If you have something whereby you've got, if on one side you've got the rich getting richer and the poor people getting displaced, from the overall economic scale, guys, do you think the government is potentially aggrieved by this, or do you think, oh, they don't really care? What do you guys think? Put one in the chat if you think the government really care about gentrification happening as much as they care about high-end housing being built. Two. That's interesting. How so, guys? Why would you say that the government doesn't care? It's interesting. More tax. Come on, guys. Let's engage. We've got an exam tomorrow morning. Displays economic growth if house prices are higher. Exactly. They're just looking at it from a numerical scale, right? Statistically, if I've got just money going up, I don't care if I'm displacing residents. So it's more of a moral argument. But if we're talking financial and what's best for the locals on the local scale, gentrification, which morally this is wrong for me to say, but statistically could be seen as a good thing. And that's something that you guys need to be able to look at from a scale argument. With time, you need to look at it from a short term versus long term. Like, how does it affect it now? And how will it affect it in the future? If you're able to bring that into the exam, you're able to show the examiner that you're able to examine things from different points in time, which shows that you're a top student. Anomaly. What doesn't fit the pattern and what does fit the pattern? If you have something that fits the pattern, it's like looking at it from something that happens little and often, or something that happens once, but like every million years. And the frequency of that is going to be something that you're going to look at from a different standpoint. And then rate of development. If you can say in the exam, I've used this one multiple times with lots of my students. If you've got a HIC or an LIC and you don't know what to say in the exam, you can just twist it to say they're HIC, they're LIC. What do HICs and LICs tend to have that's different, guys? What would you say? If you've got higher income countries and lower income countries, what's different in terms of what are the general things that you say in the exam? I'm not going to say waffle. I'll call it educated waffle. Money, right? Social services, resources, better healthcare, quality of life. Exactly. These sorts of things. All you need to do, guys, is show the examiner those chains of reasoning and build on them, build on them, build on them, build on them, build on them. And I promise you, you will get top marks in the exam. It's that easy. But it's about doing it in the right places where it's relevant. And that's the hardest part. Moving on. So we're going to start off with the AQA lot. So OCR and Excel, you still learn from this, but this is more specific to the AQA lot. Apologies, guys, yeah? Right, let's get started. Now, there are 6 core concepts within 3.2.1 in the AQA spec. You've got globalization, which is the process of increasing interconnection through flows, goods, capital, people, and ideas, which is driven by technology, TNC expansion, so on and so forth. Now, you guys, the reason I put these definitions here is because you need to know these definitions for the exam. I didn't just put them here because I felt like it, right? These are the definitions whereby they may give you a question where global commons is in the question or global governance is in the question. And how clearly you're able to define those in the exam is going to help you, because you're going to be able to break down those definitions further on as you get down and continually link back to the question, link back to the question, link back to the question. And the more you're able to do that, the higher up those bands you're going to go. Yeah? Does anybody have any questions about any of these? If not, we move on. The AQA bit's going to be it's not going to be that long. I'm just going to jump through it quickly. Do you speak about scale in your evaluation? So, yes, that's the whole point, right? I'm not asking you to bring scale in the point part, the evidence part, anything like that. You're going to bring it in the evaluation, and you're going to bring it to make yourself, because guys, this is how it tends to go. You make your point, you make your piece of evidence, you do your explanation, right? You do your pure paragraph, normal pure paragraph, like everyone does. In between your explanation and your link, you're going to do another E. That's what I do with my students, an evaluation E. And you're going to bring in star then. And you're going to be like, however, and it's going to be a sort of counter argument. Are you guys familiar with using counter arguments within your paragraphs? Predictions for paper 3. We'll cross that bridge when you get there. We're going to focus on paper 2 for now. But I have got some predictions for paper 3. If no one's got anything they want to ask about this, we'll move on. Now, these are the main case studies here. So you got Apple. Everybody here is probably listening to this on an Apple device, or they own someone they know, or everybody is Apple devices everywhere. And Apple was designed in California. Obviously, people that work for Apple tend to have a 120K average salary. I'm not talking about the factory workers. It was manufactured in China, 200,000 workers, an average wage of £3 an hour. The iPhone sells at around 900 to 1,000 to £1,100, and manufacturing costs £100. So, guys, think about how wide those profit margins are. Yeah. So think back to what I just said a while ago about Star, and then I'm talking about the Apple TNC here. Are you guys starting to see the links? Good question, Safa. Are these the main details? I would say you need to know everything that's here, but there are a couple details probably that I missed, or a couple things which are not relevant. No, they're all relevant here. A couple things maybe that you may want to add on yourself. But these are the main stuff, because I wasn't able to get. I'm not going to be able to get every part of the case study on here, right? Because we'll be here all night and all day. Now, moving on. If anybody has any questions about any of this, let me know. Global systems, Antarctica. 1 in the chat if you'd like to go through Antarctica. 2 in the chat if you'd like me to move on. on the chat. Let's move on. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Cool. We've gone off once. Sorry for the people that just turn around for a bit. Now, Antarctica. Now, everybody here knows about the Antarctic Treaty. It's such a big thing. I don't know if I have any any people who believe in flat Earth or anything like that here, but with flat Earth, a lot of them tend to bring up the Antarctic Treaty to try and base off their arguments in those debates. Now, the Antarctic Treaty had 12 original people who signed off on it. It had USA and a lot of people during the height of the Cold War. Now there's 54 people. Basically, all the big boys are the ones that have signed the Antarctic Treaty, and they like all think of Antarctica as a scientific thing to explore, and there's ice caps and we can look at history, and Antarctica is just somewhere that no one should touch. It's the untouchable place. It's the no man's land, which also makes it very interesting at the same time, because if nobody's in charge of it, that also means that nobody is allowed to say this is mine, and that's where a lot of conflict's going to come from. In terms of trade, like if you look at Antarctica, you've got disputes in terms of the World Trade Organization. They're like, whose land is this, right? Who does this belong to, right? And that's a big issue, guys. If think about it this way, if I've got a donut, for example, right, and it's a bit blurry, right? Just give me a sec to zoom in. Right, moving on. Global systems. Now, with Antarctica, guys, the whole point of Antarctica, as already said, the main arguments here are that no one owns it. It's a global common. And with global commons, the whole point of the whole topic is not one singular party owns it. So it's like, I've got this controller, for example, right? I've got 3 people here, 3 different countries. We all like the look of this controller, but none of us can have it because it doesn't belong to any of us. That's obviously going to create conflicts because we're all going to want the shiny object that no one else can have. Yeah. And that's a big part of this. Now we're going to move on now to STAR. Now, STAR can actually be applied to global systems and governance. And I'm going to show you some examples here, guys. So on the global scale, you've got high income countries, and you've got them capturing services. And the periphery, the outside, they supply the raw labor. So we're talking about the countries that have a low income. And then also, you've got on a local scale, you've got Foxconn workers, they're earning £3 an hour, while an Apple designer earns £80,000 plus. Do you guys think that's a fair thing, right? For one party to earn £3 an hour, for another party to earn £80,000. Right? It's just something which is due to a structural inequality, which is actually, relevant for all of the examples. Now, with the anomaly, you've got South Korea. South Korea is a really good example because it's actually got £150 per capita in 1960. Now it's £28,000. No natural resources. It used export-led growth and industrial policy, and now it's at 28,000. So it shows that that's a really good one to use. Now, in the 1990s, there were free trade and it was universally celebrated. And then in 2008, there was a financial contagion which exposed interdependence as vulnerability. In 2022, Russia, Ukraine, COVID shattered, whatever. We all know what happened in 2022 with the sanctions and stuff. And now we're going to move on to global governance. Now, does anybody struggle with global governance? AQA, obviously. Could you use Japan whaling as an anomaly? Yes, you could, because it's not something which is going to happen on an everyday basis. All right, so let's say you're struggling with it. No, I'm gonna be honest here. Anybody that's that unemployed to come talk in my chat here and try to, and make jokes like, if you do have an exam tomorrow, you're cooked. And if not, you just need to, maybe go get a job. Now, pivoting away from this, global governance, guys. With global governance, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to work through the Paris Agreement. The Paris Agreement is a big, big, big issue. I actually had an argument with someone's teacher about the Paris Agreement, right? In 2015, the Paris Agreement had 196 signatures, right? Everyone said, we're going to make our climate lovely. We're going to look after it. We're going to try and make sure that it's to 2.7 degrees warming. What do you guys think happened when countries try to work together and they all say they're going to do something? What always tends to happen? Every single time when countries say we're going to all get together, we're going to do this, and we're going to make sure that it happens, what actually ends up happening most of the time? Exactly, didn't happen. Thank you, Jacob. Now, with the High Seas Treaty, it's actually legal. Now, I had an argument because I argued, guys, that it's not actually legally binding, because how can something be legally binding if nothing's going to happen to you if you don't do anything about it, right? You see USA, they didn't stick to it. What's actually going to happen to them if they didn't stick to it? If they didn't stick to it, that was their thinking. And Trump said, I don't care. I'm not doing anything about it. And they backed out. And then nothing's going to happen to them. So the question I have for you guys is, if something's going to happen and they're going to say this is going to happen to you if you don't do it, but nothing actually is going to happen to you as a result of that. It's like me murdering someone. They're saying it's against the law, but I'm not going to go to jail for it. Is that really is there any consequences there, guys? Can you bring in recent conflict? Safa, it depends how you use it, right? That's what I say to you. If you use it in the right context, absolutely. But if you start talking about it in terms of, trying to just drop in random facts and list, you're gonna have a big, big, big issue. Also can be seen in the UNSC because Russia was a key ally but used their veto to gridlock the agreement for a peace mission in Syria, civil war. Well done. Russia was a key ally, used their veto. Well done. And this is a good example because it's an example of how another country used their power against another country. And we know, guys, that Poppy's actually leading us to moving on to veto power. Veto power is so, 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 so important, right? If one country's got veto power, you're able to do what? This is a very good question. Guys, what are the veto countries? What are the countries with veto power? Put them in the chat. Security Council couldn't do anything about Russia. All right, let's have a look through some of these comments. Security Council couldn't do anything about Russia in Crimea. Facts. How important is it to know loads and loads of exact facts? What's the advice if you don't have a fact for a topic? I'll be honest with you. If you don't have a fact for a topic, what you need to do is try your best. If you just have This is why I tell my students, for case studies, you need to learn the story of the case study. Don't really focus too much on learning the obviously learn the facts, but don't. It's the first primary thing should be learning the story. If you know the story of the case study, you can make an educated guess. That's what I'd say if you're looking for evidence. And obviously not numbers and stuff, but just how things could happen or what it could lead to. Good question. This is facts as well, Jacob. You need to get some more facts though. Definitely by tomorrow. So get on the flashcards. Does anybody have any questions? Before I move on. How long's the AQA? Muad, what example do you do? I know Yumming and that lot, they're OCR, and I think they're at the end, so they might be a bit cooked. Can you talk about the Montreal Treaty for Global Governance in Antarctica? What specifically about the Montreal Treaty though? Because if you just want to talk about the Montreal Treaty, you can literally just talk about how it's to do with obviously the ozone layer and stuff, but it's what specifically about it you'd want to know about. Predicted questions. You can use a star structure in AQA 6 and 9 markers. Not in 6 markers, in 9 markers, yes. Antarctica is known the Madrid Protocol, UN. I don't know why, Poppy. I'm not even trying to be rude, but it looks like every single time you write something, it looks like it's from a textbook. Maybe it was that smart, but or maybe you copied it. One of the two. Can you predict the question or topic? Yeah, I've got predicted questions on here. We're gonna get to it. I'm just letting you guys get your questions through, and then I'm gonna move on. I've actually got some pretty strong predictions. Just let me know. Just a joke, Poppy. Just a joke. All right, moving on. You don't need this. All right, cool. Here's my first prediction, guys, for AQA. Get your screenshots in. Here's my first prediction for AQA. Any AQA lot in here? Put one in the chat if you're doing AQA. Oh, sorry about that, Jacob, mate. I forgot to take you off. Apologies. Oh, we got a couple AQA guys in here. Still, we got a couple of them. Solid. Cool. I think the benefits of globalization are unevenly distributed is going to be the question, because 2025 talked about inequalities and tech flows. 2024 was Antarctica. I think this year they're going to actually go for the benefits of globalization. That's what I think. Like, yeah, spam that in the chat. That's what I think. I think this is going to be the question. So you guys can screenshot this. You can cook me on TikTok if you want to cook me on TikTok. I think this is going to be the question, because I feel like I just have a hunch, man. That's what I think. And guys, this is a very good question. If you get this question and you can't do it, you need to look at yourself in the mirror. How would you guys go about answering this question? Oh, thank you, mad mate. Thank you. For an anomaly, could you talk about India? India in what context about anomaly? In what context? Anybody gonna answer the question of how they go about this question or not? State flows and factors develop flows of capitals of FDI. Cool. Yeah, but cool. Let's say you got your plan. You've seen this question in the exam. You go write your plan. You got your little mind map, however you want to do it, your little swirly. I don't know what you want to do. You're planning it. How are you going to plan this? Turn the page. Unfortunately, you can't do that, man. Could you mention Detroit? Leave it blank and cry. Yeah, you could mention Detroit. Yeah, you can. Of course. Detroit's a very good one to use here. Guys, can focus on the content. How would we go about answering this question? Is anybody going to be smart here? Detroit got finished because of deindustrialization, while California heavily benefited from global shift. Banging. Perfect. Perfect, bro. Well done. This is facts, right? They heavily benefit from global shift and offshoring and outsourcing. Rich getting richer, poor getting poorer. Why do you all have a day? Bro, poppy, mate. China, any other country, Detroit, Kingston. Probably. Right. Guys, let's agree that we go with Detroit here, yeah? Let's say we're going with Detroit. What would you say? Cool. Detroit got finished with deindustrialization. What led to the deindustrialization? Why did the deindustrialization happen in the first place? Let's break this down. Why did the deindustrialization happen in the first place? Right, we're saying lack of containerization, labor, shift in economy, banging. Perfect. Who's that? Where's that gone? Well done, Milo. Well done. They moved it. They moved everything from the industry. Where did they go to? Well done, Ramvi. Where did this go to, guys? Verizon, Japanese bank, perfect. India and China. Mexico. LIDCs. And what was the reason they moved it to the LICs or LIDCs if you're doing OCR? If you said you never learned about Detroit, well, I'm going to give you a quick run through. So with Detroit, the deindustrialization, because there was a big global shift to moving things to countries where it's cheaper. Another example of this is India, where they moved all the call centers to India. Not all that's a lie. They moved a significant portion of call centers to India, and because it's cheaper to pay them, you can pay them less and maximize your profits. And they tend to be an English-speaking country, right? So that's that. Poor regulation equals low cost. Cheaper labor leading to more profits. Cheaper labor, less strict. Perfect. Cheaper labor. Perfect. You guys are getting it now. Cool. Now let's build on that idea even further. If I've got cheaper labor, let's say I'm the corporation. I'm thinking, cool, cheaper labor, deindustrialization, cheaper labor. What happens? Let's think from the social aspect now. What happens to the people who only worked in the factories? They only worked in these factories in Detroit. They never did anything else. They only worked in these factories. They didn't do anything. They didn't have any skills. First time I like to Arsenal related video. Yeah, guys, like the video, man. Get another low income job. They don't really benefit. I know they don't benefit. You can probably make it argue. They don't really benefit overall, but I want you guys to tell me how would they what would happen to them? No qualifications, no jobs, nothing brought back to the economy after, low skilled unemployment, and skills mismatched from any tertiary and quad business, meaning they're mega deprived. Exactly. What do we call, guys? What do we call it when there's deprivation where. Wait, one sec. Just got a message. Just give me one sec. Guys, what do we call it when we have something with deprivation where they're gonna get what's it? Yeah, they're gonna start off with losing their job, then they're gonna lose something. It's something. What's the term? Cycle deprivation. Ding ding ding. Well done, Milo. You're on a roll. Well done, guys. If you're not using cycle deprivation, if you don't have that in your key terms, please pencil that into it now, right now, this second. You need that absolutely. Spiral of decline, same thing, but I like cycle deprivation more because it has a keyword within it. Yeah, everyone happy with that? Everyone happy with that? So we'd have deindustrialization of Detroit as our full paragraph. We would then pivot it socially to talking about how it would lead to the negative multiplier effect, spiral of decline, cycle deflation for them on that side, and then how on the other side these corporations are maximizing their profits by moving it to lower income countries. Everyone happy with that? Put one in the chat if you're happy with that. This can be used for all examples. Put one in the chat if you're happy with that, guys. Would you argue for and against the statement? Absolutely. Perfect. Good. All you equate lot, make sure you have that question done. We're moving on a little bit. All right, let's keep moving. Cool. The guys, type A or B in the chat. Apple's iPhone sells for £900. How much does Foxconn receive per phone for manufacturing it? Pure paragraphs are best. Yeah, they are. Lots of A's. Can I use? Oh, I can't see that anymore. Lots of A's. Keep going, guys. Perfect. You guys are correct. Well done. South Korea's GDP per capita in 1960 was £150. What is it today? Perfect. All right, moving on because we're going to be here all night if we don't get to the other examples. So we're going to move on. Cool. This is paper 2. This is places. So this is for everyone. Everyone does places. So I'm just going to, for the places part, I'm just going to do this part for all 3 examples. Put one in the chat if everyone's happy with that. And don't worry, I'm not going to mix up anything. edexcel, OCR, EQA can all use this. Yes, for edexcel, diverse places, absolutely. Cool, we're moving on. How many pure paragraphs? 120 marker? If you're doing an agree and a disagree, plainly just an agree and a disagree paragraph, I would say, depends how big the paragraphs are though, but I'd say 2-2 maybe, or 3-3. Right, let's go. Here are the concepts you need to know. Like, if you don't know these concepts, you're cooked. I haven't got any other thing to say. You're cooked if you don't know these concepts, right? Sense of place, insider versus outsider. If you can quote Cresswell 2004, because it's his theory, the inside the outside theory, top A1 to use in the exam. Topophilia, endogenous factors, power geometry, and exogenous factors. Get these down, guys. I'll take a picture or whatever, and then put one in the chat when you're ready to move on. Everyone ready to move on? Perfect. Let's go. Brick Lane. Who's covered Brick Lane as one of their case studies? This topic does tend to be pure waffle, by the way. I'll be honest with you. Like I used to. That's kind of why I like it though, because you're able to just pivot around things and just chat rather than having to know the straight facts and the straight judgment. You can just waffle a little bit. Educate waffling is what I call it. Has anybody done Brick Lane? Me. Cool. Me. Sweet. Brick Lane. I'll be very quick. 1970s to 1980s. Obviously, the Bangladesh community arrived. They got Banglatown, East London Mosque, textiles. There's a strong topophilia there, right? They got a place meaning there, an identity there over a generation. Working class South Asian tight knit, right? Have any of you guys been to East London? You'll know that it's a very predominantly South Asian place, right? You got Monica Ali. She published Brick Lane. People felt misrepresented, and then you got the gentrification pressure. So obviously there was a pressure of gentrification because they wanted the new trendy creative things that the high-end people who are moving in are going to buy and they're going to want to go to, and it's going to attract more high-end people to come in because that looks better for who? The government and the corporations. They want to maximize profits. If you have all these local businesses, it's not going to happen. And guys, what's the name of the term when every place, every high street starts to look the same? What's the term for it, guys? When every high street starts to look the same. Like everywhere starts to look the same and there's nothing special about it anymore. Placelessness. Well done, Gotham. Good to see you, Gotham, man. Clone Town. Well done, Clone Town. Now, guys, my local high street and your local high street are going to look the exact same. Let's be honest nowadays. Every high street tends to have a McDonald's on it. Let's be honest. Every high street tends to have a proper high street tends to have some sort of footwear JD or something on it. It's the same thing, right? There doesn't tend to be tons and tons of local businesses, small businesses on these massive high streets, and that's because they've been pushed out. Simply put, yeah. You need to be able to explain that. All right, moving on. That's star. Right, my prediction for AQA changing places. It was between this and another question, but I picked this question. Globalization is now the primary driver of place change. Assess the validity of the statement. I think obviously they can change some words around and stuff, but I think it's going to be this. That's going to be the main topic, part of it. Yeah. AQA lot. What are you guys thinking? This is what I'm thinking. How accurate are your predictions? Ask Yoming how accurate my predictions are. I mean, I think double globalization questions. Yes, I do. It's pretty much spot on. But would you say to evaluate or not agree with it? Oh, for this, very good question. Very good question. And I'm actually going to give you the answer. Globalization is the primary driver of place change. What would you guys say the other factors that drive place change would be? Mention Brick Lane. It's funny when he says it like that. What are the other factors, guys, that drive place change? I need to see the OCR guys. I need to see the AQA guys going, the edexcel guys going. This is for all of you. If you don't know this, it's tomorrow, guys. Come on. Stuff. Mate, why is globalization and changing places? FDI, exogenous and endogenous, political incentives, government, exogenous factors, rebranding, regeneration, inward migration. Cool. 1 in the chat if you think globalization is the primary driver. 2 in the chat if you think there's other things that are going to drive it. One, 2, 2. Oh, it's mixed. 2. Ages have changed like councils. Yeah, well done. 2 other policies such as science, park, tech, startups. 1 new generation goes spending 1, but there's still other things that drive it. Isn't it both though? Gov spending. Guys, yeah. It's gonna be things like gov spending and like councils and those sorts of things. And I'm actually gonna give you the answer. I actually think globalization is the primary driver of change now. I actually agree with the statement because with globalization, everything tends to circle around it for the most part. And that's going to be a big, big, big reason why I think it's going to come up, or something related to it is going to come up tomorrow. Just give me a sec. Forget about these. Let's get out of AQA, bro. You guys have had too much time now. That's a prediction for population, guys. If you want to take a picture of that quickly, because we need to get to the other ones, because everyone's getting agitated now. I'm gonna get to OCR the next time. Don't worry. If any of you AQA guys want to get this question done, get a question down. That's what I think it's gonna be. So you're gonna plan it tonight before you go to sleep and stuff. I'm actually OCR student, so I'm more of an OCR guy. All right, here's my prediction for resource security. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Put them in here, and I'll slap this PowerPoint in the group chat after this. So, guys, you will get this PowerPoint. I'll put it in the group chat tonight, straight after this ends. Right. Moving on. OCR, change your places. Everyone happy now? Perfect, Yamin. Perfect. Now we're gonna get started. These are your definitions that you need to know based on what's in your specification. They don't say that, you know, maybe they need to learn this, whatever they need to learn this. You have to learn these. Ted, I'll be honest, man, it's at the end. Guys, edexcel's at the end, I'll be honest. I'm not gonna move around it. It is at the end. The quicker I move through this, the quicker we can get to edexcel. OCR guys, put 1 if you're all good with getting these definitions down. CUE. That I don't think I have anything CUE on this PowerPoint. I don't, man. Resource security AQ. I just showed you the predicted question. I can't go through it because we're not gonna have enough time. That's the thing. Contemporary AQA predictions. I've got that. I'll do it at the end if I can remember. But I need to go through this OCR stuff because everyone's just messaging me saying do OCR, do OCR, do OCR. So I need to start with OCR. Now, I'm just going to go through like basically most of the spec here. A place has multiple simultaneous identities. Different people experience the same place differently. Bradford, you've got obviously official regeneration narrative, and it's the same. And then a lot of people, local narrative, they say it's deprived and it's rubbish. You've got two things here, right? You've got the Daily Mail saying it's rubbish and stuff, and then you've got the local people saying they love it. So you've got two separate things to deal with there. So it's about informal representations versus formal representations. You got deindustrialization. Birmingham lost 200,000 manufacturing jobs from 1971 to 2001. There are physical remnants, derelict factories, brownfield land, and the post-industrial economy, the financial services, creative industries, tourism, retail, etc., 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 etc. It requires different skills, so it pays differently. Okay, if you're doing a tertiary sector job, you may not get as much quick money as you get doing a factory job because they're different skills, right? And so the inequality is still going to grow. Not everybody can make the same amount of money. There's going to be obviously a disparity between how much different people make, and that's what leads to structural inequality. Now, with the aging population, rural areas are losing young people. Okay, have any of you guys ever been to rural areas and seen somebody under the age of 20? No. I'm doing edexcel in like 5 minutes. Have you guys ever been to a rural area and seen someone under the age of 20? No. They're all old. With all due respect. Exactly, Yemen. There's no unemployment. There's no employment industries, and there's no employment opportunities in rural areas. So what do? They move out, right? And that's why the young people are leaving. It's property led. You got Westfield, Stratford, Olympic Park, 40,000 new homes. These are the regeneration strategies. Stratford case study, like I told you guys. So that's the way they look at it, right? Just to go back to that argument, guys, at the start. When they're thinking about it, they're thinking 40,000 new jobs. That's it, 40,000 new jobs. They're not thinking this person got displaced. This person got moved away from their home that they've been in since they were a kid and their parent was a kid. They don't care. All they care about is maximizing profits and making things as cheap as possible. Okay? And if they can bring in high-end housing and in turn bring in people who are higher income, what they're going to do? They're going to boost the local economy. Right? Moving on. Moving on. So here are some predicted questions. So we've got regeneration always creates as many problems as it solves. I've got the identity of a place is shaped primarily by economic factors. To what extent do you agree? And I've got top-down approaches to placemaking are more effective than bottom-up. Assess 20 marks. Those are my 3 20-mark predictions, guys. What do you guys think of those? No, 16 markers. I meant to put 16, but I messed up. But it's 16 markers. Come on, yeah, man. You got to cut me some slack, mate. Had a long day. They're obviously 16 markers. I did OCR as well. Nah, this one's not AI. I swear down. I promise you. edexcel now. Yeah, just one sec, Ted. One sec. Population and environment for AQA. Let me write that down somewhere. So I'll cover it at the end. I swear I did that already though. Population and environment for AQA. Right, I've got that done. OCR lot. Granby 4th Street houses were sold by Liverpool City Council for how much each? Should know this. You should know this. A or B? A, B. Well done, guys. The London 2012 Olympics cost 9.3 billion. What was the average house price in Stratford versus in 2012 versus 2023? I remember I didn't talk about the numbers of Yuming, but I remember we did talk about obviously that how the prices changed before and after the regeneration. A. Well done, guys. global connections, human rights, trade migration, trade and migration, trade in the contemporary world and global migration. Is anybody here doing trade and migration? Come on, guys. Trade, cool. Trade, all right, cool. So with trade, guys, you got trade blocks. You got EU, ASEAN, USMSCA, and with these trade blocks, they're able to obviously bypass certain limitations because of their relationships with each other. Have you guys ever? Can you guys name the Asian countries, please, in the chat? Trade, 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 trade. Countries: Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, Ethiopia, China. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. Come on, guys. Better than this. Tomorrow, we need to be able to name them. Right? It's Singapore in them. Yes, it is. Vietnam, Singapore, Thailand. India, India. Perfect. All right. My predictions for trade is I think they're going to ask you about the migration benefits. Also migration benefits host countries more than source countries. Now, I don't think it's going to be that exact wording. I think it's going to be something more leading towards something to do with one of your case studies. So they may say in the LIDC or in the AC. That's how I think they're going to do. Okay. Why would I talk about Asia when I can talk about EU? Because with the Asian countries, there are certain facts which have really, really good stats with them that you can use in the exam. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. Yeah, don't sit on the fence, guys. I know I talk about that with my students all the time, but evaluate. It wants you to assess the quality of the information. Please don't say to me, "This guy's great and this guy's great," so that means everyone's great. What have you proven to me? You haven't proved nothing to me. You haven't done anything. You need to. This is for all exam boards, by the way. Every single bloody exam board. You can't say to me, "This guy's great and this guy's great," so I'm going to be fine. No, what you need to do for me is say, "This guy has this on this condition. This guy has this on this condition. So overall, this guy is more significant than this guy on this condition." That's the way you need to phrase your arguments. Spatial, temporal, exactly. Star. That's the way you need to do it. If you're going about it in terms of, let's say you start a question tomorrow, you open the paper, and you already have a certain thinking of this side is more significant than the other side. Don't make one side more detailed than the other to make it look better as an argument. You should try your best to make them as detailed as each other, because you're then able to, make a compelling argument that steers me as an examiner away from it. I'm like, how did you get there? You dropped that condition. It brings you to even a higher level. Okay, but don't just try and belittle another side to make the other side look better. A lot of students do that, and it's a really, really bad habit. Globalization, edexcel paper 2. Edexcel, guys, who's ready? Oh, for ACE. A stands for anomaly, R stands for rate development. Any edexcel guys still here, or is everyone gone to sleep? Well, let's see if everyone went to sleep then. Or is any ones in the chat for edexcel? Ones in the chat for edexcel, guys. I'm sorry you guys had to sit through all of that, man. I couldn't do it myself personally, so I'm sorry about that. But We're going now. We're going now. We're going now. All right, let's go. Globalization. Cool. There are three sectors of globalization for edexcel. You've got the causes. So what causes globalization is things like technology, internet, smartphones, containerization, meaning you can get more things. And if you guys like to shop on Temu and stuff, what they do is they get more things on a container and they can ship it out. Okay, and that's what made the costs fall 90% because they're able to ship more things. It's not like an individual big thing. Every time I want to ship something from China, you can do it within 3 seconds now. Liberalization. You've got the World Trade Organization rules. People are more what's the word? Independent now. TNCs. There are 80,000 globally, and the top 100 they drive 40% of global GDP. This is why people say corporations run the world because they drive the production of the whole world's a significant portion of the whole world's GDP. Finance. There's 6.6 trillion a day of currency trading. I don't know if any of you guys are traders in here, but it's a really, really, really big thing for globalization. Cultural convergence, right? You've got English as like the country, the language everyone uses. You've got Hollywood, you've got social media, you've got everyone just mixing, right? Now there's consequences of globalization. You've got winners and you've got losers. The winners are the countries like Korea, South Korea, Singapore, Taiwan. These countries are building to get to that top level. Now, and then also you got the countries, the people who are consumers. They get cheap goods. You guys, as I was talking about earlier, you guys might like your little Temu stuff, and you might like to go grab them for cheap. Then you got your losers, your de-industrialized HIC workers, and then you got your LIC commodity exporters. Okay, UK manufacturing, it's gone down. It's gone down because obviously the deindustrialization and stuff. And if you guys, any of you guys have covered Birmingham, that's a big part of it. And then you got localization, India. You guys ever heard the Mick Paneer? Anybody heard of Mick Paneer? Moving on. Cool. And then that's my prediction, guys. I think that they're going to talk about the costs of globalization outweighing its benefits for the majority of the world's population. Because if they are going to talk about globalization, it has to be this. I'm confident. You can click this. I'm very, very confident. Post this tomorrow if I'm wrong. I'm very, very, very confident that they're going to talk about this from the costs outweighing the benefits. They have to, right? Because if they don't, when I say 20 marker, guys, I don't mean it in terms of like, I don't explain it. Basically, guys, what I've done is I've rushed the PowerPoint and I even put 20 for OCR. I know there's not a 20 marker for edexcel, but I know it's a 12 marker. But I just put it there because a lot of them are very similar. Okay. But the question still remains the same. I believe this is the question they're going to ask you about the benefits and the costs. Okay. 12 marker, yeah, 12 marker. I'll put my head on the stick for this. Absolutely. Right, moving on. It's not needed. So here's some of my predictions. I've got obviously that TNTs. These are all 12 markers, by the way. TNTs are the primary drivers of globalization. The cost of so it's the same thing. I'm saying that globalization is being led by TNCs, or the costs are outweighing its benefits. So it's the same arguments. I believe that's going to be the main topic. Absolutely. Right. Thank you for agreeing. Cool. What I'm going to do now, guys, I'm going to send through the PowerPoint on the group chat. Is anybody put one in the chat if you're in the group chat? You can. I'm going to put the PowerPoint in the GC now. How do you guys find the live stream? How can I get in the GC? I'm gonna drop the link to the GC now. For you AQA lot, this is your last paper. If any AQA man are still here, this is your last paper, man. So I'll give you all tomorrow. edexcel and OCR, I'm gonna see you guys again for paper 3. I'm just trying to get this link over to you guys. How do I get this link over? Someone else can help me here. Oh, no, I've got it. Invite via link, copy link. Sweet. I put the GC link in the chat. It's been fun, guys. Message me on the group chat how tomorrow goes. Yeah. Any questions? Please message me on the group chat. I'll reply to them all now. I'm active. Actually, I got like a couple minutes now. Anybody got any questions? If anybody's got any questions, if not, I'll just leave it here. Let's see what they're saying. What's your prediction for diverse places? So with diverse places, it depends on what they asked last year. Okay. I'd say Mahara, my prediction would be that like a question about how different groups are going to experience the same place differently, something like that. That's what I'd say. For abbreviations like CCA, MLR, do we need to see what it is in brackets? Very good question. Very, very, very good question. What I'd do is I'd do it once, like, and show that, and then just keep doing the abbreviation then after. That's what I would do. Aggregation superpower predictions. I've got my superpower prediction here, actually. I don't know why I didn't do that. Where is it? It should be somewhere here. I remember putting it here. Where is it? Here it is. These are all 12 markers, yeah? So military intervention is the one I'm going for this year. Military intervention. Guys, you need to imagine, Nick, I've been making these for all 3 examples. I forgot. Military intervention is never justified in protecting human rights evaluate. That's my prediction. AQA CUE. I don't think I have CUE, man. Evaluate for local has a place to the extent that political decisions are important in the population characteristics 20 marks. That's my prediction. I don't think that's coming up, to be honest. That's not my, I disagree, but we'll see tomorrow who's right, innit? We'll see tomorrow. Like, I don't think that's the diverse places question, man. I just think it'll be something like different places experience, different groups experience places differently. I think it'll be something like that where there's no really a significant case study to use, and you just got waffle. That's what I think it's gonna be. Everybody's gonna be right in the past. We're gonna find out tomorrow, aren't we, guys? I want you all you guys to at me tomorrow. We'll see tomorrow. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Good luck tomorrow, guys. If you're not on the group chat, message me. I'll be active on there tonight. And any of you edX AQA guys, it's been fun. Enjoy it. It's your last paper. Give it your all. edexcel OCR guys. I'll see you paper 3. Okay. Good luck, guys. Yeah. I've put the GC link in the film. Yeah, I'm gonna add you now. All right, bye guys. No worries.